Hello, Grace Baptist Church family. I hope you're doing well and survived the winter storm that had come through our way and up to the northeast there, and I think they're still shoveling out up there, but I think it was reported that we have received close to 14 inches of snow, depending on where you are at in Franklin County. But today I just want to share with you some important information as far as some things going on here at Grace Baptist Church. One of the first things I'd like to talk about is church cancellations. Those can be quite hard to determine exactly what to do in certain situations. It's probably one of the most difficult decisions a pastor has got to make, whether or not to go ahead with services or to cancel. And a lot of times we rely on forecasts, future forecasts of things that are going to be happening in our area, and sometimes we are right on, and sometimes we're off by a day or so. But this past Sunday, I was here at church, and I was praying about it. I went and spent time with the Lord in the auditorium, and was praying and said, Lord, it's getting close to 8 o'clock in the morning, and I thought, well, I need to make a decision because of the forecast that was coming. And as I prayed there for about 10 to 15 minutes with the Lord, I raised my head back up, looked outside, and there was snow coming down, and the parking lot was beginning to get covered. My car was beginning to get covered. And so I looked at the forecast, and it said that it's going to continue on. So that was the main decision as far as why the services were canceled this past Sunday. But I just want to share a couple of things that I look at as far as trying to decide whether or not we're going to cancel a service. One of those is the road conditions. You know, we have people coming from Chambersburg, Greencastle, Blue Ridge Summit, some from Rocky Ridge, I believe it is, in Maryland, and have to come over the mountain there, and also a lot of people locally. So I try to look at the road conditions and see how those are to make a determination. I know sometimes if the church doors are open, people are going to come, and I just want our church family to be safe. I don't want any tragedies to happen, so we're just trying to be safe on that part there. Another thing that I look at is our parking lot conditions. Matt Kale does a tremendous job, does a wonderful job as far as clearing our lot. He usually comes in early in the morning and plows it so that the sun would beat down on the parking lot and clear all the ice that is off of there. So I look at the parking lot conditions, and sometimes on a Wednesday, this happens on Wednesdays quite often, is that it'll be 34 degrees, 35 degrees and sunny, and some of the snow from the parking lot will melt, and the liquid, the water, will come onto the parking lot, and then all of a sudden in the afternoon it starts to freeze and it creates a pretty icy surface on the parking lot. So I take that into consideration. I also take into consideration the travel home, as far as are the roads going to be safe enough to get home. Of course, this is a very windy area, windy Waynesboro, and there's snow drifts and things like that, but I'm thankful that it doesn't happen every week. I'm thankful that it only happens maybe once or twice a year, but those are some of the things that take into consideration as far as what to do as far as determining whether or not services are canceled. I want to just give another couple of things as far as there are many of our church members that are new to our church family and are unaware of some of the guidelines that we have used in the past as far as canceling our children's ministry. The guideline has been in the past that if the school district cancels school, that we will not have children's ministry. Of course, this was put in place well before we have our church-wide Breeze notification system and social media that we've been using as far as our GBC friends, our GBC Facebook, and things like that to get the notifications out. So effective today, we are no longer going to determine whether or not our services are closed by the school district. We have the ability now to send out mass emails and mass texts to our church family to give them up-to-date information as far as whether or not we're going to have service on a Wednesday or not. So that will be effective today, February 4th. And if recently you have not received a update information or information about our services through our Breeze program, it's possible that maybe an email is wrong or a text, a phone number is wrong. You can contact Amber here at the church office and give her all the pertinent information that you have, maybe there's, that she can put into the system, and then you'll begin to get these notifications. I know she'll be more than happy to help with that. But also, I'd like just to take a moment and talk about something that is new that we started just yesterday. Yesterday, I asked Scott to create a prayer email address so that you can email your request to us here at the church. Yesterday, Scott implemented that in the afternoon, and shortly thereafter, we had 2 prayer requests come in to that email account, which I will check periodically throughout the day, and Scott will as well. And we were able to pray for the 2 requests that were sent in to us. And what a joy that was, be able just to check my email and say, hey, here are 2 emails, 2 requests that are very serious, and that we're able to pray for them. So I want to make that available to our church as well. That information will get out to you as far as the address, as far as where you can send that. Also, I wanted to remind us of our upcoming revival. February 14th with Dr. John Getch will be here. We'll have a Sunday morning service. We will have a Sunday school only for that Sunday. Combined adult Sunday school in the auditorium, and then the children's ministry that day will have an extended children's church that Scott will be in charge of down there during that time. So pray for him. 2 hours with kids of that age. I'm sure he'll enjoy that and do a wonderful job. But then we'll have a Sunday evening service at 6 p.m. on the 14th, and then also Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday night at 7 p.m. We will be live streaming these services to you if you're unable to get here in person. But can I encourage you, if at all possible, to come out and to be a part of our services in person? It's just great to be around other believers, to sing and to enjoy fellowship, and then to hear the preaching of God's Word. Dr. Getch does a wonderful job. He's a wonderful evangelist, does a practical teaching and preaching of God's Word. So let me encourage you, if you can, to be out this coming week. We are going to look at our service. Our sermon is going to be running on empty, and how we can fill our tanks back up when we just keep on serving and we just feel like we can't go anymore. So let me encourage you to be here this coming Sunday at 9:30 for our morning service. And thank you so much for joining us today, and have a wonderful rest of the week.